So now that we've welded up the diff for a no-slip situation, we have to take the one out of the vehicle here. So Ash is in the car, manning the foot brake. We're going to undo these bolts from the axles and hopefully it'll drop straight out. So we now have the no-slip diff, the welded diff, bolted back up in the car. The axles are all bolted in. We've left the exhaust off for a minute because we're going to mount a line lock up in here so that we can lock off the rear brakes from acting whilst having a little bit of fun. Right, so the ramp's back down now. We've got the diff in, we've got the axles bolted up, we've got the line lock on the chassis, we've got the rear brakes plumbed into the line lock on the chassis. So now it's just the wiring to do. Ash is just wiring in the power supply, and then we're going to work out where the switch is going to go in the cab, and we're ready to burn some rubber. Is that rod knock?
Yeah. That'll be an axle.
So there we go, that's a wrap for this year, and we've just had a whole load of fun sending the year out in the best way possible. We've welded the diff, we've put the line lock in, and we shredded some tyres. Fun afternoon to close the year. Unfortunately, we have broken something. We appear to have lost a bit of drive on the rear left. I'm thinking maybe the splines in one of the CVs. They're known for being a little bit weaker on the W210 stuff, but thankfully I've got some spares, and in a worst case there's also uprated versions which we'll probably look to put in. Last week we broke something on the Grumman. We've now got it on the ramp a few days later, bit of Christmas food later, time to get back to some sort of work, to have a look and try and see what's gone up with it. So it's pretty obvious as soon as we've got it on the ramp what the problem is, so come have a look. So as soon as we got it on the ramp, it became clear that we have a broken drive shaft. I've got some spares, so hopefully it's an easy fix. So let's get the tools out and get cracking. So that's all the inner CV bolts undone. Let's try and free off that CV joint. Stuck. May need to jack this up a bit to gain a bit more space. So let's get the transmission jack and jack this up. Yeah, okay. So we've snapped the drive shaft here out the back of the CV joint where it goes into the hub. You can see it's twisted the metal there. The torque from the OM606 turbo diesel, just too much trying to let these 265 tyres go. Probably not enough wheel speed, not enough revs, and it just snatching and just snapped that. Luckily, we've got some spares, so let's go get another one and bolt that one in. So from the back side here of the hub, you can see exactly what we're dealing with. Again, that stub axle, the spline section running through the hub has just sheared between that and the CV joint. Just too many torques. Undone the hub nut, and now we're gonna have to just drive this back out through the hub because obviously it's all twisted on the other side and it's probably wider than the spline, so we've still got to send the shaft out the back. Go. Well and truly broken. So thankfully it doesn't look like we've damaged the splines in the hub. It's just sheared off on the very back end. It has taken it into the splines a little bit, but it looks okay in there. So we're good to go again. Very good brush. There we go. That's it. Get all the rust and mud and muck off. That's it. Well done. So we've got our replacement second-hand drive shaft. We'll pop this in now and see how long it takes to break this one. It's proving tricky to get this axle back in, which makes me wonder if we have twisted those splines in the hub ever so slightly. The section of shaft that was in the hub just in front of where it sheared had actually opened up a small section, twisted a little bit within the splined area. So although it didn't look like there's any damage, I guess there's a chance that it's twisted those splines at the rear end ever so slightly. So having to hammer this in quite hard, and it's a bit of a struggle, but hopefully that'll straighten it out and we'll get on track this afternoon. So I think we've gone with a mixture of pulling it up on the nut lightly so that we don't strip the thread, tapping it, a bit more on the nut, tapping it, a bit more on the nut until it's in and we've got no more movement on the nut. So I'm going to get the inner end in, then we're going to try and torque this up, pin over the detents to stop that undoing, and we're good to go.